Royal Caribbean is ruffling some feathers down in Nassau, Bahamas. We'll give you the update on their newly planned beach resort on Paradise Island. Plus, Carnival Corporation sells off another cruise ship, one that you've probably heard of. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Once again, welcome on board Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas. I'm on like day 9 here of a transatlantic cruise. We're just getting over towards Spain. We've got a few more days left until our first port stop, but we're sitting down here in Central Park. It's breezy, it's chilly. Whew. About time to get a jacket, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for the cruise news, and we're going to start with kind of an interesting story that's going on board this ship right here. We've got another stowaway. Longtime Midships viewers may remember that just a couple weeks ago there was a stowaway owl right here on Central Park on the Symphony of the Seas, and there is another bird here coming along with us for the Atlantic crossing, and that is Pat the Pigeon. Here, take a look at Pat. Pat has become somewhat of a celebrity in the Facebook group here for this particular cruise, hanging out somewhere around deck 9 into Central Park. You know, I left my balcony door open to see if Pat wanted to come in for some food and drink. This pigeon is riding across the entire ocean with us, so pretty soon Pat's gonna find themselves in a new home over in Europe. It's gonna be quite the culture shock probably for Pat. Hopefully he or she is able to speak a little Spanish, because they're getting off in Spain. It's gonna be curious to see if Pat decides they're gonna stay along here with Symphony of the Seas, or if they're gonna go off and find love in Europe. Yes, some pigeon love. Now let's get into some actual cruise news, and we're talking Atlantis. Yes, Atlantis in the Bahamas. As you may know, I reported a few days ago, Royal Caribbean is opening a 17-acre beach club resort for their passengers right there on that little strip of land between Atlantis PAradise Island and the little lighthouse in Nassau, Bahamas. And that's raised a few eyebrows, mostly from the other resorts in the area, and in particularly the Atlantis Resort. Now, their managing director Oswald is her name. She's pretty upset that the Bahamian government didn't come and let her know that there'd be a competitor moving in right next door. And some beef is starting to go down. Some words are being exchanged. Well, pretty much in one direction from Atlantis to Royal Caribbean. The Atlantis Resort is obviously none too happy that Royal is going to have their own space for their own guests on this island, on this development. So that's the update. Now, if you were a subscriber, you already knew this a few days ago, but just recently here today, most of the other news outlets for cruising dropped this information about what's going on over in Nassau, Bahamas. But just to kind of jog your memory, Royal Caribbean does plan to open this new beach club resort. It's going to be a tender port. You'll tender over from the cruise port. You'll get to enjoy sands, pools, private cabanas, all kinds of cool things just hosted under your Royal Caribbean cruise umbrella. So a really awesome opportunity for Royal's passengers to go ahead and enjoy that elevated Royal Caribbean experience while they're on land in Nassau, Bahamas. I think is a wonderful idea. Royal Caribbean & Co., you are doing it right over there in the Bahamas. Before we get into our next cruise news story, I want to remind you, this channel is solely supported by viewers like you. So if you could do me a favor, tap that thumbs up button. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you want to take it just a step further, it won't cost you a dime. There's an Amazon affiliate link in the description below this video. It'll take you to my own curated page of everything I take with me every time I cruise. Check it out. There's a link in the description below. Everything's like 20 bucks or less. It's a great deal. Now let's get on in the cruise news. There's a little stuffier cruise line called Cunard, and they think they're getting with the times by adding silent discos on board their ships. Now, if you don't know what a silent disco is, well, it's when there's really no music playing, but you are in a dance club and everybody's wearing headphones, and they change colors depending on the song that you're listening to. You may have pop hits, you may have Latin music, and you may have classic music all playing at the same time, and everybody's dancing a little bit different dance to a little bit different beat. Well, silent discos, they originated back in the 2000s, so obviously they're a little bit newer than Cunard Line is, right? But while silent discos are coming to Cunard Line right now, they've officially announced it. So if you're a Cunard cruiser, you like those Queen Mary transatlantic crossings, you might have some new entertainment options on your next cruise. Carnival cruisers, listen up. If you like to cruise in the luxury tiers, we're talking Seabourn. Yeah, Seabourn, the very high-end cruises. Well, unfortunately for you, you're gonna have one less option of ships to sail on, as Carnival has officially sold off the Seabourn Odyssey this week. So no longer will Seabourn Odyssey be operating under the Carnival Corporation. She has been sold off to a group called MOL, and that is an operation based in Japan. So if you're looking to have another high-end cruise experience on Seabourn Odyssey, well, it's going to be the MOL Odyssey or some other name. I'm not sure if they will officially rename the ship or not. Again, this is one of those smaller ships, holds between 200 and 400 passengers. It's going to be a lot more upscale, intimate experience. I've not cruised on something like that before, but I know a lot of you out there in the Midships family have, and so there's your news on that. If you're looking for a new small ship experience, MOL out of Japan might be for you. And you know what other cruise might be for you? My group cruise. If you didn't know, I'm hosting a 6-night cruise on Carnival Celebration, the brand new ship. We depart June 11th out of Miami, Florida. We're heading down to Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Mahogany Bay. I would love to have you join us. There's like 2 cabins left in our group, so if you really want to get in for this, check it out. There's a Facebook link in the description below. That'll take you to the Midships Miami Nights group page, and you can get all the info you need to know there. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships. Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask you to subscribe. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It's the only way to let me know that you love cruising as much as I do. It's getting windy. It's getting cold here in the Atlantic. We are getting into Fungal, somewhere off the coast of Africa into Spain, getting really close to land here on this cruise. The seas have finally calmed down a little bit, but unfortunately they're not calm enough to allow the Aqua Theater shows to go on. We've been on here for 9, almost 10 days now, and still no Aqua Theater shows have happened here on this ship. But fingers are crossed that we'll get one of them here in the coming days when we make it into port. And sorry if there's some noise, there's some kids screaming here in the background. We're gonna call it a night right then and there. Thanks, kids. Kids always ruining fun. What can you do? We'll see you tomorrow.